So,
Yay!
welcome back to XCOM Phoenix Squad, which I just had an amazing sense of deja vu since I literally dreamed about running this game last night.
What a fun experience that must have been for you.
I'm in your nightmares?
You were.
We've done it, guys.
It was wonderful. I usually don't get work dreams quite as often anymore, so it was good to know that this is this entrenched in my brain.
Was the dream this or like in story in fiction?
No, it was kind of this and kind of but we were live. There was an audience. For some reason the tables were really high and the chairs were pretty short.
So Nick built them.
When I tried to start the show, I only came up this high.
Yeah. Thanks, Nick.
But in any case, thank you all for coming. I have a great group of players with me today, and I'm going to get them to introduce themselves, starting with Jason.
Hi, yes, that's me. I'm Jason. The character I'm playing is called Valkyrie. She's our medic and hacker, and sometimes one of our friendly ones can interface with a people if needed. Even though Brood is better at it, Valkyrie's the off talk. Yeah, that's what I'm up to.
And speaking of Brood, Nick.
Hey everyone, I'm Nick. I'm playing Brood. He is the tryhard den mother of our squad, and generally happy-go-lucky guy. He is the newest recruit on the team. Not a newbie, but definitely a little bit newer than everybody else.
And Jinx.
Hello, I'm Sam DeLev. I am, when not haunting Pujo's nights, playing Jinx, our team's psyop and one of the less inclined and yet most adept in matters interfacing with people.
And that leaves us with Wolf, Joe.
Hi, everyone. I'm Joe. And when I'm not streaming, I'm often partnering with people to incept the dreams. And, that's just something I do in my off time. I play Wolf. He's the grizzled XCOM ranger, run through the window, introduce himself with his sword, does not interface with people element of our squad.
Okay, so as a kind of recap of the whole campaign, our band of blades, more literal in some cases than in other cases, has been asked to go to New Orleans and work with the New Orleans Mutual Aid Society to rebuild the city. It's about 6 months after the end of the war. The elders have been ousted from Earth, but that does not mean that all of their agents or all of the pain that they left behind is gone. And this is kind of a trial program. Lily Shen is trying to kind of pivot XCOM in a lot of ways from a purely military and destructive force into a force for reclamation. So this is a project very near and dear to her heart. And after the loss of their grenadier, Sunshine, this squad was kind of broken. And so they were making it. They were kind of pulling it together, but the war ended and Wolf walked away. And for the next 3 months, they were a family divided. And that didn't go unnoticed in Advent. leadership. I'm sorry. It didn't go unnoticed in XCOM leadership. And so Lily decided to use them as the trial run here, that civilians and cities weren't the only people that needed to heal. And she hoped that this would work for both the soldiers and the people. So our squad, they arrived in New Orleans. They met some people. They, had to take out a chrysalid infestation in an apartment complex like you do. And then after that, which was full of, people working together and definitely cohesive as a squad and definitely
Will
checking all the
literally
doors.
anyone check a door ever?
Apparently not.
That's what's going on the tattoo on my back. Check your doors.
I think we were all absent that day at XCOM training.
You don't say. All of that is to say that everything went silky smooth with no negative repercussions whatsoever as a result of their actions.
Doors
True.
and corners. Doors and corners.
That's where they get you.
And so that happened. And then who wants to recap last session? Because I am sick of the sound of my own voice.
I'm offended by that notion. I can speak at least to a night after the chrysalid attack of much character of isolation by them, as is usually isolated, with peaks of passive aggression and fighting. Brood, our squad's nervous golden retriever who just wants everyone to get along and is looking between everyone and whacking his tail, but in this metaphor the tail is making us very hearty breakfast, and Valkyrie, who has to just clean up everything. Like, she's going to need another mop, but like for doctors, like a doctor mop. Thereafter, once we had some semblance of presentability, we went to the city council to learn about what's actually going on and how we could meaningfully render aid, learning a little bit about the various things that are going on in the city where we could conceivably help, such as locating more chrysalids, or I don't know, not checking the doors for more chrysalids, a black market, reawakening old technology or being able to repurpose it. That whole reawakening old technology, Valkyrie not such a big fan. That hits a little close to home, but it does seem to be championed by the civilian representative on the council, Shane Pitters. They are so into it and are really pushing this despite significant side eye, to use a technical term. We are resolving that apparently by Jinx flirting with them. All right. And so they are going to the Three Sisters restaurant at 7 p.m. per my notes. And so they, like the rest of the party, return to the Superdome thereafter to do some shopping so that people could have clothes and all sorts of good stuff. Wolf looks very, very Flash. But like, I would like to imagine that version. So I will. And that's what you missed on Glee.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I feel like there is one thing that I really, really wanted to mention that we glossed over is that Valkyrie recorded Brood dancing while he made you all breakfast and then gifted it and sent it out to the group chat. Most important thing.
You know, you're right. I'm putting that in my notes right now.
Yeah.
I
But
just added it under Brood's notes as breakfast dance gif exists.
yes. Wolf met up with Timur Kerr, the leader of the skirmishers slash council member,
Mhm.
who invited him to visit their enclave in Algiers Point. So we'll see if he accepts that invitation and maybe reaches out to some people who might or might not understand where he is coming from. But in the meantime, we had a shopping montage, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
say it's about mid-afternoon or a little bit later. So you've got a little bit of time before your date, Jinx. And I am going to see if anybody else has things that they want to do specifically before the nighttime, and then while Jinx is on their date, what are the rest of you going to be doing?
I need a refresher. I was trying to do a speed re-listen and my week was just whatever. Like I'm on spring break and my week was busier. I don't know how that happened.
Oh, I know those feels.
But the shopping montage, I can't remember the outfit that Valkyrie got for herself. Of like what, because I remember I was like trying to synthesize a look that would be like algorithmically blending in, and I'm
Oh
pretty
yeah,
sure
didn't
I
that roll
fucked it
go
up.
kind of middling? Yeah, that was
It
not.
did. It was a partial success.
Oh, it was partial. Okay.
And so you got a lot of information, but also it was kind of like jumbled up. That you got, rather than, okay, I can algorithmically pick out what would be appropriate to go to the black market and infiltrate it, you got like pieces of several different strata of
Yeah. Okay.
society.
Got
So
it.
if you put them all together, you might look like Pauly Shore in a 90s movie.
Ooh, okay.
But it's kind of also like, it's not, the information isn't so scrambled that you can't tell what wouldn't obviously belong.
Right. Right.
So you basically rolled. I fed 1,000 hours of fashion into a bot. This was the first page.
Yep.
Basically, yeah.
Yep.
Kind of
Okay.
because that's what you did.
Okay.
My understanding, however, was that a very helpful shop person got Jinx together in a. There was a picture here of a.
There is a code. There is a code, and you invoke the code, and you rely on your subject matter experts. Quite frankly, yes, Jinx looks, frankly, rockin' because they didn't try to make choices. No. They asked the shopkeep, please help me. There's a date. This is the specific thing I'm trying to achieve. Now, let the covenant of our genders guide us to this solution. Lo, and my ally did recognize this covenant. And so now I have a very cute sleeveless jumpsuit as a result.
Have any of you watched Station 11?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. It might be
On
too
my
soon for a
list.
lot of people. It's a post super flu setting.
I've heard a lot about it, but between my real difficulty watching television while I'm making television
Oh yeah.
problems and the specifics of what it's about, I was like, maybe I'll put this one on the back burner.
Well, the main character as an adult is somebody who's like pretty divorced from what we consider modern day sensibility, and so her sense of fashion is pretty wild. But it's like how I'm starting to imagine Valkyrie of like, I don't know, I've worn camo for the last 15 years. You know, khakis and camo. Like, this is probably fine.
Speaking of people who have asked for help from shopkeeps, Wolf also asked for assistance and finding things to blend in and maybe look a little bit less like he's about to murder you. And the that he comes from the official government line of sanctioned violence. And he did pretty well. More ND, darker colors, but also looks very, very fashion forward as the result of his middling.
You know
role.
how sometimes you take a pet dog and you dress them up and you can just tell that they hate having to wear what they're wearing? That's Wolf's energy right now.
But you look so good. As Jinx recognized.
True.
This perfect dog hoodie face. Oh my god.
That was amazing.
He's a schnauzer and a bow tie.
Yep.
But yeah, so you'll look good. You've gotten supplies. People have socks who didn't have socks before. I don't remember who didn't have socks. Just think you should have had socks.
Socks for them.
I forgot to pack extra socks. That was the thing. Is like I had packed all this stuff and we'd made note that Valkyrie was so prepared with a bunch of stuff. And I was like, you know what? She had to have forgotten something. So I decided it was socks.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, y'all are done at the market, back at the apartment. And you have, let's say, an hour and a half before Jinx needs to go and meet Councilperson Pitters for their date. And what will the rest of you be doing in that time?
Well, before Jinx leaves, I want to
Mhm.
confirm, like as you're getting ready to go out the door, Jinx, before you go,
Yes.
do you want somebody on Overwatch?
It's a date. It's not a infiltration mission. I'll be fine.
Well, it's
And
kind of an infiltration mission.
Does Pitters know this is not an infiltration mission?
Pitters will be doing no infiltrating, I assure you.
and that's also in character giggle because Valkyrie thinks that shit is funny.
Good, I'm
But
hilarious.
okay, so back
I'm a delight.
well, Jinx, that's fine. I mean, I'd be happy to task Raven in the area if that's helpful. But if you don't want that, that's okay too. What time will you be back?
When I'm back, mother.
Okay. Well, we have a lot to do tomorrow, and it's
I'm sure the council person will respect my time and my work for their organization and won't have me out too late past my beddy time.
right. Okay. Well, yeah, that's okay.
May I add something to this setting just for a moment? That all of this conversation is happening while Valkyrie touches up the dressing on
Yeah.
your wound on your back.
Perfect.
So you are pinned in place.
Oh yeah, this conversation
Yes.
has to happen. I can't get away.
You are trapped.
That does contextualize why I'm doing so much emotional pushing away with the harsh words. I suppose actually the proximate is not just dressing it up, but if you look at what I posted, it's not the least backless
Oh yeah,
jumpsuit
do you still
ever.
have a
It's
link
not
to
a
that?
full
We
on.
should drop
I'm
that
pretty
in
sure I
chat.
put it in the Slack.
Black, yeah.
So I think I might have uploaded it as an attachment because I couldn't. It was like a WebP file or something,
Oh,
Like
weird.
like one of those
Okay.
cursed things.
Yeah.
That then you have to screenshot and upload on its own.
Yeah, right.
I'm out of character. I can just but yeah, the point being, although it is not a halter tie, they are independent straps. Anything that sleeveless is going to have some visibility of the back. I don't think it's full on backless based on the construction I'm seeing. But if it could
Mhm.
maybe be a little less actively disturbing to the council's sensibilities, that'd probably be for the best. They're a civilian. I don't want to. Yeah, who knows how sensitive a stomach they have.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Well, okay.
I wait until Valkyrie's just a little near, like, to get something by my shoulder. You recorded Brood with that raven this morning. You think I don't know you're just nosy?
Everyone knows I'm nosy, Jinx.
Right. So I see what you're doing. You're not subtle. Overwatch. Honestly.
Purely for your own safety.
Purely. Isn't lying against the hypocritical oath or something?
I don't think it's against the hypocritical oath. I think it's quite along with it, in fact.
I'm your patient and you're lying to me.
Oh, well, if it was the Hippocratic oath, then yes.
Oh, go take a long walk on a sharp pear.
Right,
Okay.
right. Well, I mean, your safety also is like, if I'm entertained, then you're safe. Because, if I got bored, then it, maybe I'm not paying attention when you need backup or something like that.
You're the responsible one. You're the one I trust not to go and cause chaos because you're bored.
Right. So you don't want me to get bored. Look,
So
I
while
asked
this,
first.
like,
And
I
this-
respect your answer.
so I think the last bit is that near the end of this, as we're moving off and getting into the joke, there is a little bit of a beat where Jinx looks like maybe they're about to say something a little more serious, or like ask or otherwise respond to the question in a meaningful way. Like the actual, do you want someone there? Because their knee jerk's like, no, fuck off. But their second knee, they seem to just and ultimately just swallow it. But also Valkyrie's working on their back, so I don't think they see it.
Mm-hmm.
She sees it.
I'll be out on patrol tonight anyway. I'll have my comm on.
If the first one's a knee jerk, is the second one a knee Samaritan?
Oh no, there's no need for that.
well,
If-
everyone's knees are different.
All right, we're putting a cap on this whole thing.
a kneecap?
We need to Patella move on.
How much stress did I just take from all of that? Does that knock me out of the scene entirely?
Infinite.
I think at this point, so while Jinx goes out on their date with Councilperson Petters, and Wolf is going to be on, patrol.
Yes.
Definitely not a patrol that takes him directly to the Three Sisters and the general vicinity of the Three Sisters, and where he could possibly have, a high ground line of sight on the Three Sisters. Never.
I didn't plan the city.
What are Valkyrie and Nick going to be doing?
Nick?
Well, that was actually kind of what I was going to do, was position Brood around the neighborhood, just in case. I heard there's a good ice cream parlor around the corner, so just checking that out and doing the civilian liaison and being seen around without being a big scary guy in all armored up and ready to shoot things, and just walking the town, getting a feel for everybody.
It might be
All
a good
three of you-
idea to.
Independently and stealth from each other. Spy this date. Do it, you
Yeah.
coward.
Yeah.
Well,
when I dreamed of this is
can't.
what I hoped for.
There's definitely a group chat that does not include Jinx at the moment.
Yeah. I can't task Raven, though, because I made the mistake of asking for permission. And
Now you have to go yourself.
Yep, that's how that works.
Yep.
And also, if you have plausible deniability that you were just doing something else in the area,
Oh, is this where the Three Sisters is? Huh.
I had no idea.
What kind of place is it? Is it like a fancy restaurant setting, or what does it look like?
It is a pretty nice restaurant, and it has a bit of a couple of different sections, but when you arrive, Jinx, and you meet Councilperson Petters, it's like one of those like perfect first date moments where you both arrive at the restaurant at exactly the same time, despite both of you believing that you are going to arrive after the other one. So you
I
see them
love
walk
that.
in, and they light up when they see you. They are just completely blown away. This outfit, spot on. They are here for that.
Bless that lovely lady at the Superdome.
And they look, pretty good themselves. As we talked about before, Councilperson Petters is like approaching middle age. They have a soft look to them. But it's not that that they look like they couldn't necessarily like take care of themselves, except it kind of looks like they couldn't take care of themselves. Like they are very much curves, and they have dressed to accentuate those curves in a way that is, I would say, objectively on point as well.
What are they wearing?
They are wearing a set of like it is a kind of like flowy silken dress that hugs their top and then flows into more of like a what looks like it would be a skirt, which would be almost impractical, like with how pretty much everybody walks everywhere, but like just seen from the right angle is actually a pair of pants. And it so it is more of a tight, like drapey look across the top, and then hugs their hips and then falls into a wider silhouette at the bottom.
Fascinating. I love that we actually went for like fairly similar genders of date clothes. I love that.
So yes, it's kind of interesting that like they have also felt the gender for tonight. But and I'm going to say that in contrast to your black jumpsuit, their clothes are very bright. There's a like a almost a tie-dye effect to the way the fabric drapes across them. They want to be seen and noticed, is what these colors are telling you.
Yeah, they do.
And they approach, they're like, oh goodness, I was so sure I was going to be late, but thank you so much for meeting me here tonight. I think you'll love the
You
Three
look
Sisters.
gorgeous.
Thank you. I couldn't compare to how you look.
I'm
tonight.
not comparing, I'm just looking. Do you want to get a
it,
seat?
like full on blush just like spreads across their cheek in like the perfect anime way.
Come on, let's get you
and
seated.
Yes, I reserved the best seat in the house. And y'all go in, and it is the Three Sisters opens up from kind of a small like reception area where the hostess and things are into a courtyard that is rather lush with greenery. There's ivy coming up the trellises. There's a scent, like not overpowering, but just kind of like a floral scent coming from all this greenery that you get the impression like in South Louisiana, stuff will stay in bloom pretty much 11 and a half months out of the year.
That makes sense.
So, but it's not so much that it would like interfere with the cuisine, but it does give you kind of this ambiance and you are going into a different place. And your seat is just like in this your table is in a little area that's partially blocked off by these ivy trellises. It's a very intimate, romantic, if you will. And Councilperson Peters is like, please, and pulls out your chair for you.
Well, thank you. For context, Pooja, how many people are in the whole outdoor area?
There's probably like let's say 3 or 4 other couples there.
Okay.
Or let's say like 3 couples and then like maybe a triad. It is a very romantic atmosphere throughout. So everyone here is in a relationship of some sort and having some kind of moment. So
But it's also not like there are some restaurants that are like even just to our ears a sensory overload nightmare.
No, this is
But this is
definitely not.
actually fairly well controlled serendipitously, given that they had no particular way of knowing about this
Mhm.
idiosyncrasy of Jinx's. But something that they had certainly been a little nervous about leading up to this date.
Understandable. But luckily, this is a fairly exclusive and very much a date night kind of restaurant.
So, how did you get to be on the council anyway?
Well, I mean, my family was and is the operators of the largest construction firm in New Orleans. Goes back generations, to be told, but it
You
only
spend
makes
summers
sense.
on the top of buildings?
Hmm?
Spend your summers on the top of buildings and such then?
When I was a kid, yeah. But I haven't been out on the walks for quite some time, actually.
Oh. Was it like up there?
Honestly, it used to be amazing. When you went out all the way up there, it was almost like you were flying. Like, and then you could see all the transports up and down and around. The way the city lit up, it was like a wonderland of color. Just the way that
I looked down at them for that.
like all of these people working together, it felt good.
So you've always had a big picture view for the city then?
I was raised for it.
And here you are. How does it suit you? I know things seemed a little tense, but you also seem like you're in your element.
Honestly, it suits me just fine. I wouldn't say that I share the views of other people on the council, but we're all going to come into things our own way. I just believe in making the lives of everyone who lives here better and not artificially hamstringing ourselves because of old prejudices.
Must be tough to be the one with vision for the city and to be so constantly obstructed.
It is frustrating at times,
But
but
I mean, it makes so much sense, though. Surely there's someone who agrees with you, even if not on that bloody council.
oh, of course, there are always like-minded people. I do represent the people, so I wouldn't advocate for anything that they didn't also want. And
course
just
not.
then, the waitress comes and you place your orders. She actually brings out a couple of drinks for y'all, like just as a like. Oh, these were ordered in advance.
Like a wine or like a cocktail?
Cocktails.
Okay. How strong a cocktail
It's
was
not like
ordered?
it's not a hand grenade. It's more on the line of like an old fashioned.
As a non-drinker, please just help me. Is that strong? Is that not strong?
Oh, it's like a middling.
Middling. Okay, cool. Respectable. Okay,
Mhm.
got it. Okay.
Not attempting to get anyone plastered in the first drink, but wants to look
Yeah.
it's more of a
It's conscientious. It's
nice.
having put thought into it ahead of time.
Mhm.
Absolutely. No, they're very attentive to how they are perceived on a lot of axes, and that includes this. Incidentally, what were they thinking when I asked them that last question about people who agree with them?
I if you want to know more than just vibes,
I do.
I am going to have you roll focus.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just if we could maybe get a little, there's also the specialist, like the specialist psyops action focus where you spend uses,
Mm-hmm.
and usually that applies rupture. But like there are 3 and then a 4th in a gray box that seems like use it but grave consequence. Can we just how would you feel about adapting that for this scene? Where like
the
I could
more you
spend it
try
because then I could only get maybe 3 reads on 3 things, and if there were a 4th, it'd be real bad.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Cool. I'd like to spend my first focus then for that.
Okay. So
Live
they're
homebrew.
thinking about a specific set of people who believe in the cause. When you ask them about people who support them outside of the council, there is a very specific group that they are thinking about. It supports them and has a like-minded thing. And I'll give you this about the council. It is not that it is not that they have a major problem with the other members of the council, but they do believe that the other members of the council, with the exception of Nia, have a problem with them.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I believe that is the truer read. I don't think it's the read that Jinx wanted to convey in that moment to Shane.
So yes, they are
Yeah, so they'll go in on some bread and they will move it back to slightly more casual conversation through the appetizers. What they're doing is in effect using the lower level vibes as a feedback mechanism. Oh, this is good, go harder into that. That started to get a little drawing away. We back off, we readjust.
I am going to have you roll sway to see how smoothly all of this manipulation goes.
I would love to. That is a 5.
So, as you steer the conversation back to more neutral topics, I'll say, um, you do get the general vibe reads and things are going reasonably well. There are a few stutters, there are a few like points where you say something that just so disaligns with what they believe or like how their life has been that it just like kind of it's like a record scratch moment, but you're able to like read that and readjust, like, fix your course. And as that's going on, I'm going to go to Wolf, who has posted up in, I'm going to say that there's a building nearby. That the Three Sisters is on a boulevard that has several other buildings. And it's not that you are able to just post up next door,
Hmm.
but there is a building like kind of catty corner where you can spy down into the courtyard and you were able to find like a place where you see them walk into the courtyard and you see them sit down, but the only person that you can see when they sit down is Jinx.
Uh, Wolf is in civilian clothing. He's got a guitar case strapped onto him. And he's just kind of leaning against the window and just posted there. And he's trying to tune out all the other noise from the city. Everything is really loud downtown, and there's nightlife and there's people talking. But Wolf is just kind of hyper focused on one thing, and at the moment it's how Jinx looks.
And they're smiling in a very different way than they usually do. It's not really the jocular mess with you teasing thing that they have going on, but more than they have in maybe our whole service combined.
I don't know why I don't like this, but I don't. But I'm gonna keep watching because I'm on patrol.
Critical patrol.
And as we like kind of fade out from this, we push in on Wolf's like kind of like growing discontent.
Mm-hmm.
And cut to Brood, who is at a nearby ice cream parlor. There are rather than, a 31 flavors, it's more like 5. And some of them are rather interesting. You have your classics. You've got a vanilla, you've got a pecan praline, you've got a chocolate chip, and then you've got and we're gonna cut in on the server at the ice cream shop being like, "Are you sure you don't want to try the crawfish ice cream? It's real popular."
I look around. Is for the other people, do they look like this is a joke?
Most people have normal flavors, but there is one person. It is there's like a 10-year-old kid who is going to town on the crawfish ice cream.
Well, I haven't had the experience, so sure. You know what? Give me a cup of that.
Yeah, this is gonna be great.
I'm looking forward to it. We're if this is what we have in New Orleans, then sign me up.
It is not just a New Orleans special, but like a sorry, as I try to like come up with a name here. And my brain is like, what are words? It is a Bayou Scoops original.
Oh, well, I couldn't pass by a Bayou Scoops original.
And so he gives you like, you ordered a cup. It's kind of like 4 cups got squished into 1 cup worth of this ice cream. And they were really, really not kidding about that crawfish flavor. As you bring it up, you can smell spices and shellfish and sugar. And I'll leave it up to Brood to decide if he enjoys that or not.
I'm going to take a big bite, and it surprisingly works. Like it's absolutely a weird combination, but after a moment's hesitancy, he's got the spoon in his mouth and his eyes kind of light up and his posture changes and he goes like, this is really good. Wow.
See, what did I tell you? And there are a couple of people who were like, whoa. And the kid is like, yeah.
I go over, I fist bump the kid. Yeah, you know what's up.
And as you sit in, are you gonna sit down in the shop and like enjoy your ice cream, or what are you gonna do?
My plan was to sort of just be like walking up and down the street, checking out the nightlife, seeing if there was anyone in need, if there was anyone who might have a problem, maybe cruising by Three Sisters and just not like looking in the window, but you know, just kind of glancing by as I walk around, see how everyone's doing. Just kind of getting a feel for the town and soaking up the ambiance.
Okay. So you see, you know, it's a pretty nice part of town. The Three Sisters is not alone in being a destination on this street. So it's reasonably busy. There are people going back and forth, not just dates, but like some families, some like late night shopping. That's like more on the art gallery side.
Okay.
There are a couple of shops that look like they've opened up just recently. Some of the artwork is pretty avant-garde and out there, and some of it is a lot more traditional. Some of it is just straight up celebrating the defeat of Advent still.
So Brood trusted the algorithm like 100%. So what he's wearing is he's wearing his combat boots. He's wearing bright green hakama, a black shirt, and then like a Steven Tyler scarf around his neck. And so
Perfect.
he's just he's cruising around and stopping and enjoying the art and digging on this ice cream. I assume I'm going to say that there's someone playing some music, like a busker at least, and so you know, I'll come over and drop some money in the hat and listen to that for a while, and just keep my eye out, see what the feeling of the town is.
You get at least 4 people who come up and try to offer you directions, because they are like, you could not possibly be from around here. But you're able to like, you know, wave them off a little bit.
Brood is charming and you know, he doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, so he goes, thanks. Just cruising through the art gallery here, enjoying some of this delicious crawfish ice cream and just having a good night, but I appreciate your concern.
And they're like, okay. But you know, babe, if you ever need some help, just don't be afraid to ask.
Oh, that's good to know. Thank you. Everyone's been so friendly and helpful tonight.
And from there we're gonna we're gonna pan back. Or it's a little old couple kind of walking by who are like, the woman as she turns to the man is like, you shouldn't make fun of colorblind people. They just don't know. They don't know. Um and then we'll go for
Valkyrie, get a
Valkyrie.
burn kit ready. I don't know why, but I feel like Brood's in trouble.
I aspire to make enough morally complicated choices that this episode is forced to be titled Shades of Grey. Go.
So Valkyrie?
Well, as discussed, I am not deploying Raven. And in fact, I think we find Valkyrie like home alone in the, because of common room, that space that we have set up and my work table and everything. And the thing that is not a huge secret, but she doesn't like drawing attention to it or like talking about it all the time, is her data port, her like the Advent chip that's still in her head. And she noticed a change when the Advent network went down, which is weird because she should have been fully disconnected from that anyway. So she is at home now, like there's like a cable running from her head into her laptop, and she has that like heavy duty, army laptop, set up, and is like trying to run diagnostics on that and see like if one of these people does bring up the Advent network, like what's going to happen? Am I protected from that? Am I shielded? Like if somebody does, like I might not be able to stop them from doing it. It's a dumb idea, but like, I'm for the first time she's thinking like, well, maybe this thing is a liability. Like this could be an issue, and hasn't brought it up with anyone because there's nothing anyone could do, or at least she thinks there's nothing. It's pointless. It's pointless to talk about my problems.
Not that kind of doctor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you roll a research
Okay.
to see how much information you gain kind of looking into your own brain.
I get 5 dice for that. I forgot to open up my dice app. Sorry.
It's okay. I definitely didn't disappear at the top of this episode to go grab dice.
If I could have 5 dice to look into my brain, that would be amazing.
5 dice. That's the one with like the good French fries, right?
Yep.
Yeah, giant
Oh,
bag.
and that was the shakes.
Oh, I got
Oh.
2 6s.
Well, there you go. That is a critical success, ladies and gentlemen and peoples.
I think that's our first critical.
Is
I
it? No, I
think
think
so.
somebody
Today,
got
yes, but we have had them previously.
Oh,
So you know that you go back, you get this kind of like high definition clarity on what that data port actually had access to. And you kind of knew beforehand that Advent had set you up with a kill switch and you were a ticking time bomb when you left. If someone had realized, had been close enough, had paid enough attention, you could have not only turned on yourself, but turned on your team.
Fuck.
And you had known part of that before, but the amount and like layering of that programming went deeper than you had first realized. Most of it has been deactivated. The work that you had done, the work that XCOM had done with you to deprogram, to decouple the data port from the Advent network while it was still up. But I'm sorry. Please don't eat that.
Kitty.
But there is actually a deeper layer that y'all didn't know about before.
Okay, so this is like like sleeper agent.
It is, but this isn't so much it isn't a pre-program for you to like, hurt people. There isn't a specific programming associated with it in that way, but it is something that gives them access to you.
Mm,
If somebody actually knew about this and the Advent network came back up, this could be a problem. It is
okay.
like kind of a long shot because it would have to be somebody who knew you before
Okay. Yeah.
and had a position with high enough clearance,
Well,
like that kind of thing.
is this the kind of thing where they might have like figured out I wanted to defect and they're like, "Oh no, don't defect. Oh, you broke out. No,
It's
don't."
the upper levels look like that. The lower levels make you kind of wonder if this was a not specific to you.
Mm,
Like, did someone put a backdoor in the data ports?
huh. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess I am just noting, commenting everything. Like I'm trying to untangle this code to the extent that I can, because I think it's dangerous to just like wipe it. Like I don't, like the commander of XCOM like barely survived having their chip removed, right? And
Mhm.
it's not a thing people survive. So it's like scary.
And the commander didn't think they were going to survive.
Right.
When that happened, it was a personal choice. And it's a personal choice that they gave you
Hmm.
that you will most likely die, but
Yeah. And I was like, well, it is not doing anything bad, so I'll just leave it. And I can do my work faster sometimes, like because I could still use it to like plug into computers and stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm settling in for an evening of coding, and the like coffee pot goes on wirelessly, click, like starts, water running, and yeah, just I think there's even I think because a lot of like there's a lot of stuff on her laptop, but then she also has like kind of like a VR mode, right? From the input. I think she's like dry erase marking on a window that's like so dirty you couldn't really see in, but like you could write on this side of it. And so whoever comes back first is gonna be a whole I've never seen It's Always Sunny, but the what's his face who has the like
it's a string board situation.
string board.
It's
Yeah.
Conspiracy board.
Yeah. I know that meme because it's so out there.
Because it's the
Yep.
perfect conspiracy board.
Yeah.
Yep.
It
So
is.
good.
It's even got the red string cork. Yeah, I just call them conspiracy cork boards.
Yeah.
Because I always make them for most of my long running campaigns. But you know what? No matter the campaign, I always know who Pepe Sylvia is.
Really, what's important is that I got a program solely because of its resemblance to a conspiracy board. I was like, oh, and then I can move different cards other places.
They're great.
But yeah, Valkyrie is just like there's all kinds of code that's like I don't know if you want to change this, Pooja, but I'm imagining like, okay, there's code on the laptop, and then there's like an extra weird blank line, and then I could see the rest of it, like because it's so like buried under there, it's not supposed to hit the output stream. And so I'm like writing this down on the window to try to like fill in some of the gaps of what the documented code says.
The code
Yes.
within the code.
Yeah.
Within the
Exactly.
code.
I don't know how coding works, so I'm gonna go with you on that one.
Okay. That is within the realm of science fiction coding. So, sure.
There is a code that hides this code from the other codes and the coders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's called underdocumented code.
yeah. I mean, you could have like a deprecated section that is like encrypted or password protected, and like
Or
will
a
be
bunch of macros that are really not transparent, nor is the function name transparently described. So you
Right.
could hide that code that
Yep.
is a code generating macro.
Yep. Yeah. All that stuff.
Magic.
That's pretty much what just came through my brain
Yeah.
when you said that. So
Perfect.
it
Well, Sam
sounds
Sam
great.
codes too. So this is we're both sort of viable bullshitters in this arena.
That's what I'm about for science fiction. Viable bullshit. Great band
That's what
name.
science fiction is about, really.
Yep.
So
It's the name of my ska band.
but yes, so you aren't able to necessarily like dismantle any of this at the moment, but you are able to document all of it.
Okay. That's
It
knowing's half
takes
the battle.
up multiple windows in your in y'all's house or apartment. So that'll be real fun for whoever comes back first.
Yeah. Valkyrie's fine. This is fine.
And we'll go back to Jinx on their date with Councilperson Pitters. Shane. Please call them Shane. All their friends call them Shane.
After calling them Councilperson Pitters at least twice so they feel powerful, then I go to Shane.
And they've really opened up to you over the course of this meal, and you were able, like, even through those like couple of rough moments, they feel like they really have found someone who like has the same core beliefs that they do. Y'all are on the same page.
Of course we are.
And towards the end of the evening, y'all have had your entrees. Would you like a dessert?
Oh, I couldn't possibly. This was so rich. My goodness.
Well, I mean, they do an excellent bananas Foster here.
Well, I could maybe split one.
Of course. So, they order dessert and they come back. There's plates, and on a little card, flambe, and then serves it out and gives you one plate and 2 spoons.
I cannot overstate the extent to which Jinx hates bananas. Specifically despises them.
This is Councilperson Bitter's favorite dessert. They are really into bananas. And you're able, I'm gonna say that you're able to kind of conceal, because of that dichotomy of like they love this, that they don't necessarily notice you hating it.
I think I'll eat around the banana-iest part because they're going for that so much. It's perfect. It's kind of like the glorious cursed friendships of the friend who loves the olives and the friend who hates the olives. They take care of the olives for you. Perfect.
Exactly.
Symbiosis.
Exactly.
So although they go in kind of hating it, it's weirdly complementary.
But yeah, so as they're having this dessert and looking into your eyes, and they just really believe that you believe that you have the same vision for the city. And as you all finish up, they kind of lean in and they're like, I had such an amazing evening.
I'm glad you did too.
And I would love to see you again. And I know that it can't be in an official capacity. But there are some people in the city that I want you to meet. And I really don't think that the rest of the council would agree to it. But it's so important that you and your group get to talk to people in
I stop. I
the
put
city.
my hand over their hand. The people who are important to you are important to me. Personally, professionally, I'd love to meet them.
Wolf looks away from the window.
And there's like, once again, full anime blush, a little bit of a stutter. And I'm so glad to hear that. And I'll get in touch with you when I hear back on what would be a good time with them. And
I'm gonna wait that long.
but I mean, would you like to have a nightcap somewhere more private?
I have patrol in the morning.
Well, I understand duty.
You do, don't you?
And if you allow them, and they'll ask, is it all right if I kiss you?
I'll take the side of their face and draw them in and kiss them. Can I spend one more point of focus here?
Absolutely.
Not in this specific moment necessarily. I don't think Jinx. Oh, Jinx! I really hope Jinx is disconnected by then. But in when talking about those people, if I could just get a little more.
You know that they're a secretive group. They have plans and information specifically about the Advent Network. These are people who aren't like your everyday average citizen. They are people who are connected and have resources. Those are the people that Councilperson Petters is most drawn to and most identifies with the most.
When Pitters thinks about them, is the vibe insider townie one of us, or is it connection network? Someone who's like from here, of this place, because Shane is themselves a townie. They feel like an us, or like
it feels like a there's kind of it's a blend, because it is a group of people that they are thinking about. So you definitely get a sense of one of us, but also a sense of beyond us. That it is that when Shane looks at these people, they see both people who are of their echelon and also people who are beyond their echelon, but in a higher way. Does that make sense? I'm trying to do this without also revealing too much.
No, that's
is
very fair. People who a lot of times people like Shane will see the world in terms of status hierarchy, and will collect a bit of a taxonomy of like people who are my peers, people whom I need to suck up to, and people I need to step on. or people who don't even matter. So it
And-
fits well into that sort of cognitive structure, I
And
think.
it's like Shane believes that they are the other sense that I'm going to give you, because you have been riding their mental vibes all night,
What a phrase.
is that they are sincere. They're not trying to play you, and they have drunk the Kool-Aid on this idea.
All right, so it's not just they're a flunky looking to get a job done for some cabal.
No.
They believe in the cabal that believes in them.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. All right. That is very helpful and conveniently much of what I was looking for from this. But I have one more thing about this date. So if you're doing anything from acting, role playing, just lying to someone, there's a reasonable amount of bleed that you might get from inhabiting that emotional state for a while. A bleed that would be amplified, if anything, from psychically parking on someone's brain skull.
For several hours at this point, yes.
Is there, I can make up a couple different ways of doing this mechanically, but like, how did this date go for Jinx? Because there's enough thoughtfulness here that, like,
Mhm.
notwithstanding I fundamentally disagree with the whole Advent network thing, like, as an individual human, there's the opening, especially having parked in aforementioned brain skull, that like, oh shit, I actually kind of like them. What kind of roll, or like I can roll a D100 to see on a linear scale how it went. We can do something, you can roll for them. How would you like to do that? But I would like to just sort of see how affected they are in a way that is not up to my personal agency as a player.
You want to see how affected Jinx is.
Yeah, I want to
on
see
how
if like, actually Shane showed them a good time on the date. Because like they're
I
being
am gonna
thoughtful.
have you roll a resist roll against their sway.
All right, so
And-
that's what insight or resolve resist.
That is a resolve resist.
Ah, bugger. I have +1 to insight resist. So let's see. Resolve is what, a discipline roll?
Give me 1 second. I actually have to, because you need to, and I forgot to open a very important document that would tell me things about how to play this game. So,
I mean, I'm just out here making up mechanics, so.
I know, right? I just, because we rolled a resist before.
Oh yeah, no, I think this is very much the play. I just also don't know how much NPCs are the architect of roles in the system, etc.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah.
This is literally you rolling to resist it.
Yep.
And you are rolling a resolve resist, which is consequences from mental strain or willpower.
Yeah.
And so go ahead and roll. And then we're gonna, and then we're
So
gonna
yeah, is that
throw away
pure
the rest
resolve
of those.
or is it discipline? Because I'm
it is
really
going
well
to
spec'd into
be-
discipline.
You roll with the base attribute, so it is
Dang. All right.
You
Yeah.
it is a resolve check.
Straight resolve,
Mm-hmm.
the worst kind. Ooh, Wolf, I'm so sorry.
This is perfect.
Did you catch Felix?
This
for
needs-
the council person?
A 1 and a 2.
This needs to happen.
Yes.
And I like to think that it's really like, look, Jinx has never done this with their psychic abilities are for blasting. This is unquestionably the first date they've been on, and certainly the first infiltration they've ever done. This is, in retrospect, a completely foreseeable backfire, but they had absolutely like this was not. They don't actually know how this side of their powers works because for all of their training was trained on make someone's brain melt out of their ears. They're trying to use this for, I hesitate,
Good.
normal people things,
That
but
I'll
something
say this.
pain and less combat, and
That
they're not
Jinx-
prepared.
Jinx is trying to use this to actually understand someone else's emotions and emotional
Yeah.
state for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so
Cool.
now you not only understand their emotional state, but you also have gotten a resonance feedback of their emotional state onto your emotional state.
Cool.
And obviously it is up to you how long you want that to last or how deep you want that to go.
I might keep rolling on it and see if it sticks around for a couple, then it has some sticking power. If it goes away immediately, it was maybe short term.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll see how I feel about them in the morning. But I don't get to roll again until the morning.
No, I'm going to make this kind of a in the morning and at night. So after you wake up and after you've gone through a full day.
Perfect. Let's see how that goes. But yes, that does contextualize Jinx reaching out and kissing them.
On the cheek, you said? Or on the
No,
mouth?
no, it's the
Oh, bring in. It was the
Yep.
bring in.
yep.
So yes, and then they are very into this kiss, and it amplifies that effect that you feel. You feel like a wave of desire coming from them, but they pull away. They respect your boundaries, and offer their arm
Oh.
to escort you home for the evening.
I would love that. It's such a warm evening and there's not even rain. Back home there would always be rain.
Well, rain is more of an afternoon thing here,
I've noticed.
at least this time of year. But yeah, it would be my honor to bring you home tonight. To your door only, of course.
Oh, of course. The squads can get a little rowdy. I have quite the roommates.
Speaking of roommates,
I love to
as-
think that Wolf overhears that line specifically. That sounds just like a horrible thing for him to have heard.
because you kind of say this like as you walk out of the door of the restaurant, it is close enough for Wolf.
There's just a nondescript man with a hat and a guitar case on his back walking by, and he continues walking.
Normally, Jinx is so tuned to Wolf that like it wouldn't like you. There are no number of Groucho classes, but they are absolutely tuned to something else right now, and they don't clock him.
Yeah.
And then a little bit further down the street, there is not a commotion or anything, but you see like Brood is there chatting up one of the local art gallery owners, and they like that gallery owner is, I'm gonna say, it's a woman who is around your same height and very like, she looks powerful is the image that she wants to project with her clothing, with her look. She is very like personality forward. And she is in great detail talking to you about the local art scene and what different pieces mean, what schools they represent, local artists, all of that kind of thing. But over her shoulder, you can see Jinx and Councilperson Petters walking down the boulevard, and Councilperson Petters looks a little bit like the cat who got the cream, combined with a peacock, a male peacock, attempting to reel in a mate. Chest up, out, very centered on Jinx, but also look at me, look who I have on my arm. They're feeling themselves and also feeling their date.
Whereas Jinx's body language is both arms on that arm, not just, the hold by the elbow. So the body language is a little turned inward, focused, tuned to one person. Not thinking of anyone else looking at them.
Are they walking towards me or walking away?
They're walking past the shop that you're in.
Okay. Oh, Amalia, just one moment. There's someone I think you should meet. And I'm going to head to the exit and say, Jinx or Jesse. Hey, no, over here. Looking at his garish get up.
And
I wanted to introduce you to Amalia. She's a local artist here.
About those roommates. Duty calls.
Well, I'm
Don't wait until
known
people get back to you for
Oh,
calling me.
oh, you're on your. Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind.
I'll catch you soon. I'm going
Are
to
you coming
kiss
home
them
tonight?
again in full view of Brood. Just like proper, the kiss that would have been done at the front door is happening now. They're splitting off now. And Brood has to witness it with his own eyeballs.
Shane is, well, like at first, like kind of annoyed, and they're like, are you fucking kidding me right now? But that kiss just floors them. They are okay. And as you walk away, they kind of like distantly like watch you walk for a little bit and then
I
shake
look
themselves.
back once over my shoulder, smile, kind of giggle to myself, and then keep moving. But I do look back for them.
And when you look back, like they're like, oh, yay, bye. See you very soon. And then they turn around and walk off to wherever they're going tonight, to dream of Jinx and whatnot. So I think that is actually a really good place to take a break. So we're gonna take how many minutes, Jason?
Oh, like 5-ish.
Sure. So we're gonna take like 5 minutes and catch up with you all afterwards.
All right. See y'all in a moment.
Hi, welcome back. XCOM Phoenix Squad, aka Jinx Catches Feels.
More like feelings were thrown at, or like Jinx threw a net at feelings, reeled them in. They arrived and began flopping at their feet, and they said, ew, how did these get here?
I like to think of it as like you threw out a net, and when you reeled in that net, there was a mermaid of feelings.
Ah, yes. Mermaid of Feelings is my Monday character.
Next time on Phoenix Squad, Clara guest stars as the Mermaid of Felix.
Don't
Yes,
tempt
please.
me, Frodo.
Yes, please.
Hint, 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 hint. So
Hey, she could have my seat.
I'm straight up about to at her on Twitter. See that I don't.
So Amalia had some wonderful ideas for revitalizing downtown, and I thought that since I saw you here, I thought we could talk about it for a moment. You know, may bring it up to the rest of the squad.
Sure. You know what? Great. Jinx has been taking over my
Amalia
brain cells.
is slightly less enthusiastic about explaining art and the importance of art in everyone's lives to Jinx, as she was to Brood.
Oh,
But I'm going to call it that Brood doesn't notice, because that is the theme of the evening. And she does. You learn a lot about art. You learn a lot about a bunch of people that you've never met and might never meet. It'll be a miracle if you remember all these names, let alone all these concepts, and you're not sure that shade of green should ever have arrived in nature.
It didn't.
And so you'll finish up there and head back to the apartment. Who gets there first? Did Wolf, once Jinx broke off from Shane, did you just head straight back, or are you still hanging around watching
Wolf
what's going on?
walks. Wolf. This sounds like a joke. A wolf walks into a bar. I think he walks into a bar, the seediest, darkest, like the roughest looking kind of bar. Walks up to the bartender and says, "Charge me for a beer, but pour me a water. And just pretend I'm getting drunker."
You know, it's not the weirdest thing I've ever seen. So yes, the bartender, Ricky. You're in the you think it should be called like the cruise bar, like Krewes.
Mm.
But some of those letters, it might just be called Ruse Bar now. REW. So that is where you're
Nice.
at.
I like it. Yeah.
And you are progressively just every time you push back, it's like, pour me another. And
Make it a double.
Oh, we were supposed to be, wasn't it beer? And Ricky gets a little confused.
Just keep pouring
something
me
a little
water.
stronger.
So
Tap water.
you-
No rocks.
we don't
Just
play that
melted
game.
ice, water. That's all I want. Just oh, here's 50 credits. Just keep pouring me water and let
Progressively
me try
smaller
to
cups.
feel
Okay.
like a drunk.
Yeah, you know, Ricky does that for you, and maybe kind of like does the do you want to talk about it kind of bartender
Not to you.
move? Just gonna take that 50 credits and walk away. But continue to, fill up your water.
But before they walk away, Wolf kind of howls a bit too loudly. Hey. Ricky's like right there, but like Wolf just yells a bit too loud. Hey,
Yes.
you ever get any skirmishers in here? Or is it all just humans in this town?
I mean, we're a little far south for the skirmishes to usually come by. They tend to hit up places a little closer to Algiers.
How far is Algiers from here?
Well, that's I mean, just other side of town. I mean, that's not that bad, but let's say that y'all are like more in the quarter and it's kind of like the other side of town. Just like north of where you are. He points it out
Keep the
on
tip.
your and like he's got like a weird tourist map on the side that has definitely seen better days and probably is several renovations too old. It kind of points it out.
Mm.
Points out the neighborhood for you. Never drink tap water in New Orleans.
Not trying to stay alive too long.
Ricky's not serving you tap water. That would be a health code violation.
Yeah, Wolf's gonna start walking towards Algiers. He's going to chime in on the comm and just say, continuing patrol, meet you in the morning.
And then so Jinx and Brood, when you walk in to the apartment, you
Can
see.
I ask a quick question before we get there?
Yeah.
What is Jinx's mood from Brood interrupting the date, the walk home, and forcing you to be in this conversation that you didn't want to be with someone who was clearly into him that he didn't realize and made you third wheel?
Well, first off, you have to realize Jinx is tuned to exactly that frequency right now. So their comeuppance unto you is that they know about Amalia and are not telling you.
Fair enough.
But it's given that they were able to finesse a satisfying end, like it's pretty much you just don't have the very, very long walk. You just have the short walk, but you still actually get the ending you were looking for, and it got to make you feel awkward about it, hopefully. Jinx is actually about 12 points short of bubbly. It's it might be disturbing.
How far from that is Chipper? Is that above or below that?
Oh, I mean, we've never seen Chipper on Jinx, so who would know?
Right.
No, actually, that's false. You have seen Chipper on Jinx. Something terrible is about to happen to a squad mate who deserved it. That is where Chipper is.
And then
much
I
more
assume the max
Jinx.
is Sunny Smith, Agent Sunny Smith.
Jesus. And Sunshine right below, yes.
Yeah. Got it.
But yeah, the vibe is, not even you could ruin this. Not off a 1, a 1, and a 2, you traitors.
I actually really like being in the seat. I feel like the dice are on my side.
Story dice.
So yeah, as you walk in, Jinx is suspiciously cheerful next to you. And
so I take it everything went well.
Oh, got everything I was looking for. Think so. We're going to have some later contact, so.
Great. We're gonna need that intel.
I'm going to get it. You have a good one over here. Very near.
Hmm?
You were patrolling tonight, you said.
Oh, I was just seeing the town, getting a feel for the nightlife. We haven't had any time before now, and just want to see if there's areas we need to worry about, if there's a seedy
Brood,
side.
what's my specialty on the squad?
Well, your psychic operations.
And what are you doing right now?
I'm prevaricating.
I'm
I
gonna
take
say
my
on
arm
that,
around your arm, I pull you in, and I whisper into your ear, "You're gonna pay."
And like right at that moment, you open the door and you see Valkyrie's work that she has been doing all night while you all were getting some, not getting some information, infiltration.
Val? Val, are you okay?
So I think if it's okay to say, we've got the like height and a half, you know, that like slightly higher ceiling. So you have your windows, and then you have the like half circle window at the top of that, like in a separate pane. And Valkyrie has deployed like just the bottom half of her exoskeleton so that she could sort of like pincer her way up and like reach this higher part of the window.
You
And-
basically turned what was your work table into a mobile ladder.
Yes. Yeah.
Valkyrie's out here bloody ascending. Okay.
And I think she's like taking notes, like, oh, are you back already? Or I thought you were going out.
What is this?
Notes.
Get down up there. Dangerous. You're gonna crack your head open.
Notes
I don't know
about-
how to stitch it.
Notes about, he said leadingly.
Well, it's a little complicated, obviously. But I just wanted to get some full analysis on my data port and just make sure I understand how all of the pieces fit together. And I had a night to myself, and I thought, well, you know, why don't I sit down with ye old laptop and there's a bunch of
I start putting on some tea.
Yeah, I think she just sort of like trails off the sentence of like, and is like sort of looking up at the last part she was working on, and just then there's like half a pot of coffee left.
Can I make a research roll? Something I am not good at, to see if I can piece any of this together?
Go right ahead.
I'm like middling at it.
Oh, well, my lower is a 1, so...
What's your highest?
Oh, my highest was a 4, I suppose. I forgot that I get to roll that insight level in there as well.
Mhm.
Because I have no points in
Yeah, you have no points in research, but it's research plus insight.
Right.
So-
So I guess, hold on, I'll roll again since I have 1 die officially, not half a die. 3.
Great.
So straight up.
So you look, and it is definitely some stuff. There's a lot of stuff that got written everywhere. There are symbols that you definitely should maybe recognize half of, maybe from classes that
Oh.
XCOM made you take, but I think you may have been asleep hearing them.
Yeah, some of it's in like the Advent accelerated alphabet or some bullshit that they, you know.
There's just like a smattering of like letters places, but it's all Greek to
Well,
It's called mathematics.
you.
it looks like you were busy, and this was important. And anything exciting happen with the math? Is it math or maths?
I don't think it
Maths.
matters. But yeah, I mean, there probably is something we should all debrief when everyone's here. But
Wolf won't be back till morning.
okay, well, we could debrief in the morning. That's fine.
Valkyrie?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean, that's not like the Advent network's going to turn on tonight.
Hold
And
on.
we're
pump
gonna
the-
pause
pump the
there
brakes.
for I'm gonna on that note, I'm actually gonna split back to Wolf. And in the kind of intervening time between the time it took them to walk back and everything, you've actually made some good time up to Algiers. Like no one is stopping you, and it's a pretty straight shot north, blah, blah, blah. And when you hit the neighborhood, there's kind of like it's not a overt thing,
Hmm.
but you just notice that like the tenor changes a little.
Yeah.
The houses are a little less open. It's a little quieter up here.
Hmm. It's quiet
And
uptown. I think I'll like it uptown. It never used to happen before.
Thank you so much for joining us for today's episode of XCOM Phoenix Squad. Please place your pun finds, your pun alerts, and your pun emotes into chat as you leave. Thank you so much.
And we hope you were not pummeled too much.
But yes, so as you walk in, you feel the weight of eyes on you as
Hmm.
well.
Hmm.
This is not a place where you wander around unobserved.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
going to, just kind of take a read. Are people threatened by me, or are they kind of just, what is this? Like, are they kind of just watching?
people are more like it's not a threatened or threatening necessarily, but an
Mm.
awareness
A
is what you
vigil,
feel.
yeah,
An awareness.
yeah. Wolf's gonna take off his hat, take off his gloves, take off his neck gaiter, and reveal his face, and just kind of see how people react.
There is like not a noticeable change, but about like you've been walking in here for like 10 minutes, 15
Yeah.
minutes. As you turn a corner, someone comes across to meet you from across the street, and it's Steamer. So, just a reminder for those just tuning in, Teamer Kerr is the skirmisher representative on the council. And Teamer comes to you and says, "Welcome, brother. We'll be honest and say I didn't expect to see you quite so soon."
Plans change.
Mm-hmm. Do you need a place
Nice.
to stay for the night?
Might be more than a night.
We can make arrangements. In the meantime, you can stay with mine. And he leads you back towards, one of the residences. It's a pretty simple setup, but average, except for there's just like obviously like stacks and stacks of paperwork and intelligence and like random bits and bobs. It's a bunch of the stuff that you would have been more expecting to see in his office, but didn't.
Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm.
And there's also actual like personal effects. There's all like these like little things that seem a little incongruous. Maybe you don't know Teamer well enough to know what he would like, but there's actual like little decorations, a few pictures.
Mm.
That is a mix of people and things like that, but nothing out of the ordinary, but just like this is where he lives. And you get the impression that this is also where he works for the most
Right.
part.
Right.
Are you
I'd
looking
like
to go
to-
to bed now? Or do you
I'd
want
like
to
to-
talk?
Like to meet the people if I could. I don't sleep much these days.
That's understandable. I'll arrange it for tomorrow, but we're getting kind of late. And outside of an emergency, he looks at you rather pointedly. Is this an emergency?
No, but I get the feeling that there might be one soon. I just don't have all the pieces yet. I have to report back to my squad in the morning. I'll come back later and see if I can
Well,
pick a spot in town.
if that's the case, I mean, there are a couple people I know would still be up. I'm sure they'd like to meet you. Just hang out here for a minute. Make yourself at home. You can stay here for the night. And he kind of like takes a couple of boxes off of the couch, move some paperwork around so that there would be like an actual place for you to be.
I appreciate it. I'll find another place soon.
You can stay as long as you like. I mean,
I'll find another place soon.
and leaves for a few minutes, comes back with another couple of skirmishers. This is the point in the episode where if someone wants to chime in with names.
I forget. Are the skirmishers the one who had kind of like abstract? They were like,
They had Adventese names like Pretal Mox.
yeah, right.
Well, this is Bordeaux Wygand.
Hmm.
Oh, we just need Star Wars name generator
Yeah, there you go. That would work.
I mean,
or Latin,
Rockmar.
like Roman.
Oh gosh, Roman name schemes are so much harder than they appear at first glance.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so Bordeaux Wygand and Sue Reynald they, you know, deal with newcomers.
Mhm.
Good to talk to. And Timur is like, this is as subtle as a hammer. The weight of his gaze.
Mm.
And just like he leaves to get some work done, and he's like, you know, if you need me, I'm always around. Just be right back there in the office. I don't sleep much either these days, if for different reasons.
Thank you. I'll
Mm-hmm.
try not to be a burden.
Our brothers and sisters are not burdens. They're our responsibility. They're our joy. We're all moving past different things in this world. This is our
Brothers and
world.
sisters. That sounds good, but I'm not a hybrid, never was. I'm just not human anymore. And when shit starts getting real for humans, this is the first place they're gonna look to work out some aggression. And that's something I know very much about. I want to know that you'll be safe.
We know that as well as you do. But we're not here to He takes a deep breath and I feel for you and what you're going through. And we are willing to be a refuge for when you need it. But we will not be a cave for you to hide in when you're running away. And we
You
won't
sound like the
be
one that's
an excuse for you to pick a fight.
you sound exactly like the one that saved me. He helped me go back to my people.
Then you
I
maybe
just
should
don't know who
follow
my
his
people are.
advice. Because I think that you know better than you're telling yourself right now.
Jesus, you guys really go for the nuts.
All three of them laugh. It's like skirmishers are as stubborn as they come.
No, we have an understanding.
Like, no one's gonna coddle you here.
The way of absolute.
There's anything I can do to help the situation out here, I'd like to hear more about it.
Now that is actually something I could use. There is you were more right than I think you necessarily thought you would be, that this is the first place humans would look. But I don't know that it's just humans. Because someone out there has been targeting skirmishers, targeting our hybrids,
Targeting.
but not the general used to be advent, used to be controlled. In the last few months, that's not been why. Those are easy enough to spot. Most of the time, it's easy enough to head off at the pass. But this is something different.
You're saying there's something organized.
There's something organized and they have a purpose. The couple of bodies that we've been able to recover, somebody's been inside them. They've been opened up, studied, if I had to make a guess. So yeah, I could use your help. But not if you think you're just going to barge in and save us all. We
I
need
have
your
a
brains as
reputation.
much as your brawn.
I have a reputation, but not all of it is true. This isn't my fight, it's yours. I'm just here to help.
Well, in that case, get your rest. You're going to need it.
Understood.
He throws you a blanket. And you don't have to go to bed right away, but if you want to talk to Bordeaux and Sue.
I think Wolf passes the night just trading stories of his time with skirmishers and like old soldier stories kind of thing. Yeah.
And they're, they trade right back. Like they both like fought against Advent. They were both freed before the network went down. So they have those memories too.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like understanding.
Do any of you ever worry about the network coming back?
Sometimes, but Honestly, I don't think the humans have the capability or the will. And there's a lot to worry about in the now and in the future. And I keep my eyes on that. I'm not going to worry about what was in the past.
Someone's targeting non-humans, opening them up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I've got my work cut out for me.
Yep. So, as that's all going on with Wolf, we go back to the apartment.
So, yeah, of course the network's not coming on tonight. Did you think that was a possibility? Is that what this is all about? And I look around the room at these.
I have a sense of urgency because I'm personally concerned, not because I think something's about to happen. Sorry. If that distinction makes sense. It's been a weird night.
What were your findings, Valkyrie?
The the hardware in my head we thought was sort of totally decommissioned when I was able to defect, and it turns out there was another layer of activatable code.
Oh,
And
dang. You poor
I
thing.
only dodged that bullet because the Advent network went down. So I want to make sure I can understand it and defuse this bomb. Not a literal bomb, I should be clear. But if it looks like the locals are going to try to bring the network back up, I may need to be restrained or something because I don't know what could happen.
I'm so sorry.
Well, then we'll make sure that doesn't happen.
Of course it's not going to happen.
What do you need?
Well, I
we're
need
here
to.
for you.
I'm just trying to fish up all of the hidden code and rearrange it. I can't just start pulling stuff out because I don't know what it'll do in my head.
All right. Is there someone we can talk to, you can work this through with? Neither of us is the best collaborator for that sort of thing, but there's got to be someone, right?
Well,
Jinx, if it's part of her mind, is that something you can help with? She said that she didn't know what was. Can you see what's connected to what? Like, I don't know how all this stuff works.
huh.
But is that something possible?
I look to Valkyrie for consent vibes.
Yeah. I mean, sure, if you want, you could correlate it against for some reason, on one of her other open tabs is the MRI she got when she first arrived, and full scale hologram of her brain scan.
Do you have an EEG?
I can't imagine it wouldn't be part of the medical workup.
Yeah, I think I could probably say that we have that.
Because if we're looking at like activity to activity,
yeah. So
then I can see if there's like stuff that's going on in your brain and then stuff I'm picking up psychically, because I can't pick up on computer-based stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not.
So I could isolate the variables
I
and see if there's
say,
interference.
I'm not being compelled to do anything right now. I feel fairly confident about that. But I just don't know what it's plugged into or what it's capable of.
You have a weird thing messing with your mind. That is very scary. That's reason enough. You don't have to disclaim it. Would you mind if I took a look?
I don't mind. No.
All right.
I walk over and I start to go as if I'm going to put a hand on Val's shoulder, and if she shirks away or anything like that, I'll stop. But
No.
if she doesn't, then I'll
She's
put
probably
my hand.
the most huggy, touchy-feely person in the group.
Okay. So I'll put my hand on your shoulder and look you square in the face and say, Val, we trust you. You're not going to do anything that you don't want to do. And we're going to help you get through this. It's going to be okay. Okay?
I mean, it might be. That's the best I could do right now.
Have yourself
will.
a seat. And I want to sit Val down at the seat that I've been sitting.
So Val starts to head over there and then goes to the laptop and says, give me 1 second. And does that movie hacker typing.
Best kind of technique.
Yeah. And says, okay, Brood, it's a complicated, so you can't do it by accident, but this is the key combo where if I start doing this, should just like short out the whole device if you do this.
Okay. I won't need it, but I understand.
Okay, because I would rather you do that than let me hurt someone.
I will employ a different sort of bash script, I promise.
What will the shutting down the device do to you?
It'll stop me.
Yeah, but there's various levels of
Brood.
being. What does that mean?
I just look at him like, shut up!
Fine.
It's not going to come to that.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Good. All right. Turn your head and I don't know.
Cough.
Turn your head and think of England.
Mm.
Please don't. That is offensive to my people.
I am gonna ask, what exactly are you looking to find out here? Is it if Valkyrie is being currently forced to work on her, or what the
No, I don't
programming
think
does?
that
Or
is
what are you looking for?
the case, but we have like her current neural activity, and we have a person who can work with minds and not computers. So I'm looking for whether or not there is a mismatch such that there is any activity being bridged from one to the other. Not whether she's being controlled, but whether there's actually meaningful stuff being fed through at all right now. I'm not looking for content because I couldn't look for content from the machine. I'm just looking for brain signal, and then we'll ultimately compare that to EEG, the other source of signal.
And I think
that's my theory.
just out of
Viable
character
bullshit.
too, the like stated purpose, like she does use this data port. Like that's it's not like a thing that's just switched off and she never uses it. But the kind of stated purpose is like sensory input and mental commands, and that's sort of like being able to make the computer do something. So
and if
it should.
You weren't currently giving a command, you might get a feed to sensory areas of the brain.
Yeah.
But there wouldn't be activity somewhere else.
Right. There should not be. It's like
I'm gonna say that you've got you've had this thing for a long time. It's pretty well studied. You know that what the baseline should be of activity.
Yeah.
That's something that you would have in your files, like something that you are familiar with as a doctor, as this being part of your own, workup.
Yeah.
And so that is something that you're going to know that whether or not what your findings are, but that would be like a medical thing in terms of electrical pulses and that kind of stuff. What I would say Jinx would be able to feel is if there is another kind of override happening from your chip, like if there is extra woo-woo juice coming out of your chip, like the kind that it used to have.
That technical term.
Yeah.
I'd love to
A
spend
very
my
technical term.
last safe point of focus for this. And it's definitely not just so the only one remaining for the episode is the danger focus. I would never do that.
No.
I'm
that's metagaming,
offended by the
like we all.
implication that I have raced to the end. But also Valkyrie is important and scared and deserves care, just as she's cared for us, which I think is also probably the vibe she's getting from Jinx. Like, I mean,
and
they
Valkyrie,
were speaking about emotions and like a moment ago, voluntary. But like, yeah, it's weird your brain not working on its own and not feeling
Valkyrie
like
is trying to have her doctor mask on, like when you have to be very level about bad news or concerning news that isn't bad news yet, but it could, like
she's
I
going
said, she's
very
not a surgeon.
cerebral to the point of dissociation so that she can deliver a very rational affect and avoid concerning anyone.
Yes. It also herself.
Yes.
Because if you could lie to yourself enough, maybe you could believe it.
That's how that works. That's what I've always heard.
Fake it
We're
till you
not
make
supposed to say the quiet part of this show, like the character development thesis out loud.
We've made the subtext text.
Yep.
Oops. But
Sam,
yeah,
I just want to say, Brood would never want anything to happen to everybody, but Nick absolutely wanted you to use your last point of focus here, so that the next one is
the
problematic.
unsafe. Yeah, is the scary focus.
So I'm gonna say, of course, you can use your last safe point of focus to explore what is happening with the chip and what its activity are on a psychic level.
Also, Pooja, I wanted to ask, because there may be a die roll that I need to make at some point too. My infiltrator move says when you gather info or attempt to bypass traps or security mechanisms, gain potency. And I thought that might have applied to what I did earlier with my critical success. I was gathering info by bypassing the security measures.
I think that this was less like, because I could have, but I'm going to say that this is because all of that stuff, like, it isn't active security. It was just
hidden.
And there were no traps in your brain. You had disarmed those previously.
Fair enough. So that's fine if that doesn't apply. What would it mean to have potency? I was trying to look it up in the book, and it was like, it means you're good. Like,
in the rules, as I understand it, and of course, feel free to overrule me here, but potency means that you have an enhanced effect on what happens.
Okay.
So, for example, a person who was trying to a person armed with whatever small arms who's trying to take down a jet that's bearing down on them, the jet has potency. It's a higher rank of
just by nature of it. Yeah. Okay.
No. I've seen this before. Potency is that thing they keep advertising in my spam emails for dick pills.
Different kind of potency.
That's fine. So it doesn't apply right now. I was just curious. Sorry to derail.
No, it's fine. I mean, and like, it can mean greater effect depending on what you're doing. I also look at it as like, oh, okay, so you can roll an extra die or something like that. Like,
okay,
or you do a little bit more damage, or bypass armor, like whatever. Like, it's potency is a bit of a concept.
Okay.
Is what I feel like, more than a specific mechanic that always has a specific mechanic that always has the same effect.
Okay, I can accept that.
At least that's how I'm doing it.
It's a
Therefore,
squishy
it is correct. Yeah. So yeah, in that situation, like you're not being clandestine about what you were doing. You were very obvious to yourself.
Yeah. No, I accept all
And
that.
there's
That's
just
fine.
weren't
That's not an
active
issue.
traps or security.
Yep.
But also you got a critical success anyway.
Yes.
You got as good as you were gonna get.
Yep.
And with Jinx's focus, you kind of like gather your energy, and what does it look like for you physically when you are expending this focus to delve into Valkyrie?
I do the classic psychic, but the ambient static electricity, which is prone to happen around me, starts accelerating, so it'll jump from my jumpsuit to my hair, from my hair out down my arms, between my hands. The purple crackles accentuate throughout the environment, and particularly around me, and a little bit around Valkyrie. It probably pops a little bit here and there on you, Valkyrie, like static electricity does.
Kind of like when you're near a Tesla coil, right? Like that.
Right, exactly. Jinx is a Tesla coil.
Right. I almost said Jacob's ladder, which is a very different electrical device and not
That
the
is
thing.
distinct. Yeah.
It's distinctly different.
Yeah.
It is not the same, but yeah, I'm a Tesla coil. We'll work on it.
I was trying to get there too.
I know it. Yeah. Slatus.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So as you like, as this energy kind of streams towards Valkyrie and her hair starts to like pick up that even more. It's already big because of humidity. This now got a slight life of its own. And you feel what almost feels like closed pathways in her mind. Things that used to be open but are now shut down, like tunnels that have been collapsed, like routes that, while worn, are now impassable. And then it's almost like if you turn around, there's a sense of a breeze. And that while nothing is currently coming through, there's no energy, there's nothing actively moving through, it's like there's a crack or a door that's slightly ajar. It's not actually near these other pathways. The things that used to be used are completely impassable. If you try to go down them, you are blocked. But there's just like a sense of not actively opening, not in use, but like that sense that you get when you haven't quite closed your door all the way.
No one's driving on it, but the road is built in there. The sparks start to flicker down, and as they down regulate, when Valkyrie or Brood gets static sparked, they will get little whiffs of either Val or Jinx. Maybe a sense memory. maybe just a brief emotional vibe, but it's like they're bleeding off the psychic energy into the ambiance. And so if it does catch on you, you get just a bananas. And when it's calmed down and the sparks are mostly just about their eyes, again, it's nothing's going on now. But yes, it could.
Okay.
Not the same way.
So
Another.
what does that mean in Squatty?
If a network never gets turned on and nothing's ever built that could utilize this, it's a moot point. It's not the most fun thing to have in your brain, but neither's trauma.
Pooja,
Mm-hmm.
the Advent Network was partly powered by their like psionic network, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't just radio waves. It was
Yeah.
like
That's why Jinx can get a read on what's going on.
yeah.
Is that there is a psionic layer and a technical layer that both came together
Yeah.
to create the network itself, which is also why the skirmishers don't believe the humans could get it back online. They believe it is beyond current capabilities to even, like, it's so far out of the realm
Yeah.
of possibility for them because they know more intimately what actually went into it than most people do.
Okay. I was also wondering whether, Jinx's push wouldn't partially turn on or, turn Valkyrie on.
Up to.
I mean, that's
you?
up to like your level of.
I don't see it I don't see it as a line in our document. So
If you want to have, I mean, I came up with the idea of blading off well, if you want second order bleed, you're welcome to it.
Mhm.
Sure. No, I that's good. I like that part of it too. But I did mean like, would it like activate that chip in some way that
No,
is?
I think it's like because at that point, like what like just psionic powers give you in terms of interaction with the chips is the ability to see that level of architecture.
Like pour water into a container to see if there are leaks.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
I don't
in
make
terms,
the leaks, but I reveal them. Okay.
definitely didn't almost drop my iPad
Nope.
there.
No
Never
one's
let
off.
it have it.
Then so what it would take is actually like in order for like that back door to be accessed, it would actually take a like more concerted effort to utilize that access,
Okay.
and also the network itself, like as a both the technological side and the psychic energy side would need to be active
And
in order
intentional.
for those pathways to be used.
Okay.
Now, like, because just any passing Templar can't like hack into your brain if they
Right.
wanted to.
Right.
You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Yep.
Like that's not. Mm-mm.
They would need like another avatar being.
In a
Yeah,
way,
something.
yeah, like or the network itself.
Right.
If
Because it was
someone
just
figured
so
out
much
a way to
horsepower.
harness that, and then like another source of psychic energy or whatever it is, but
Great power, you could conceivably brute force it, but in practice, that doesn't happen unless you're backed by
Hmm.
a good CPU.
Yeah.
exactly.
Like
So-
elder energy.
Mhm.
Rise into the occasion, exactly.
Mm.
So there's not like there's no way that Jinx on their own could activate any of that programming or open or close that access that was built into the chip.
Okay.
What they can tell is that it's currently not in use, and that the other accesses, the like more open level accesses, are shut down.
Okay. So then, out of just kind of trying to think this through before launching
Mhm.
into an in-character speech, would it be within the realm of possibility for Valkyrie to be thinking of this in terms of, well, if I can, like rewrite some of this and encrypt it and that, like, it would be safe for me to, let's say, connect to a mech that we find or a computer system or like I could harden it and actually use this for my own benefit. If
It's a
this-
reasonable thing for you to think.
okay.
Perfect GM answer.
Okay. That's fine. But yeah, I think also I want to go with that earlier sort of like I sort of misunderstood what I said, but I now also want to just have some bleed of like fleeting attraction, like
Yeah, you also now know how the date went.
yeah. That's good. And
Didn't
I
even
wind
have
up
to be nosy. I volunteered. Sort of.
and I think like Val is attracted to Jinx because Shane is attracted to Jinx, and Val was already attracted to Jinx, so it's like
Yeah, also I'm gorgeous.
yeah, like it's a feedback loop. Now Jinx is attracted to Jinx.
It's like all this attraction is
Never
just
wasn't.
harmonizing with itself.
Yeah.
We're
Okay.
just attracted to Jinx. Yeah, I'm cute. No.
Yeah, but I wanted to be clear. It's not like making Valkyrie do something she wasn't gonna do, or like think something she, that's icky and gross. But that's not what I'm talking about.
Right. It's also not like that's not the power set
Right.
Jinx uses. Melt brain through ears.
Yep.
Make people do stuff.
No.
Melt brain through ears.
Yeah.
Melt
That's
brain
good.
through ears, not melt heart through tears.
Oh.
I don't know. They'll have to stick around for the rest of the campaign.
That accidentally happened to Wolf already.
I know exactly. Whew.
Oh.
But I think Valkyrie, is there anything else
Okay. Well.
we can do with this information?
Yeah. I mean, actually, if I can get root access and rewrite some of this, this could actually be a really helpful tool. I've just left it off for so long and like barely used it, but there is so much possibility here that I never even thought about. Tygan didn't want to take the time to look at it, and the code was messy, and Lily or Dr. Chen didn't like how messy the code was, because her code is immaculate. So
A thing she would disagree, a statement she would definitely disagree with. The rest of you know.
Yeah, you don't write clean, well-documented code during a war. You write awful spaghetti mess and it's good enough.
it seems like
But-
at least her work would be well documented.
I do like to think, yeah, she's not someone who doesn't comment her code like a monster.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think
Uh,
that like it's both got like all the useful comments and also like random asides and like
there are so
yeah.
many fix
jokes.
me that
Yeah.
don't happen.
Why doesn't this work? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Oh, it's that stuff like that NASA code that got released. Why does this magic number make things happen? I wish I knew, kind of stuff that we love to see from our rocketry.
There's a
It's
few
kind of
lines
like
I'm just gonna say there was like maybe a few lines of comment where it's just, what would Dad have done?
Mm.
Mhm.
Oh
yeah. I mean, it's basically like reading
Heart.
this code is like like hearing a monologue from her. Like
Mhm.
that's what reading her code is like. And some of it is like Oh, I remember when Dad taught this to me.
Yep.
Oh, there's like a function called Dad's linked lists.
Mm,
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah. Things I wish Dad could see now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Class libraries and
So what we need to do is get you in touch with Lily then.
well, I'm not real excited about broadcasting this, like the full like data results of my scans and over radio. Doesn't.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't mind doing like a hardware data dump at some point, but I don't know how much I can rely on that resource just because it's gonna take a lot of like real time work.
well, we're due for a resupply in 3 weeks. Can it wait? Do you want to encrypt it and send it back that way, or maybe you can ask if Dr. Chen can personally come on this one?
She would do it if you asked.
I mean,
And
she's
she
so
owes
busy.
us. Yes, doing important things. Like this. Think
Um,
about this is not just you, Valkyrie.
I
Think
know.
about the potential significance of these findings. But also it's you, and you're the one to whom I feel loyalty and obligation.
What Jinx said.
That's really sweet.
And I hold out my hand for a fist bump that Jinx doesn't give me.
Yeah. No, I just look like and back.
Oh. Okay, so what if I get a start on it, do what I can from here, and then log it all for like a hard drive dump, and when we do resupply, I can send that, and then she can double check my work.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
But for tonight, we are taking down all of that push pin red string nonsense.
Well, so I just wanted to do. I'm going to do some character scan with Raven, and then I'll be able to
You're
like.
not, though. You're getting sleep.
No, I know, but I need
First,
to.
you're getting a Tylenol. Brood, could you get her a Tylenol? She's going to have a headache in about 40 minutes. I'm sorry about that.
I just
Oh,
need to
yeah, of
scan
course.
it so I don't have to write it again.
Could you actually get 2 for me as well?
On it.
Thank you. I
Just, like,
think
Hurriedly having
Valkyrie
Raven like
gets-
scan.
yeah. Yup. And as long as it happens fast enough while like Valkyrie is getting ready, getting up off the chair, putting her jacket back on or whatever. But Valkyrie is getting cared for on this eve. And Valkyrie is getting properly put to bed and not literally tucked in, but emotionally tucked in.
Sure. And combat
not-
medics are definitely good at letting people take care of them.
Well, but that's the thing. You've got Brood, who's genuinely nice and kind and cares for your well-being. But then there's the thing. There's me, and I'm just mean. And so I'm not going to be nice to you. And at the end of the day, you're going to be in bed. You're going to have those little jammy jams, and you're going to have a nice night's sleep now, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't know how I can fall asleep, but I will stay here.
Well,
At a
have
doctor.
the Advil, and give me a minute. I'm going to be right back with something to wash it down. And Brood has also started preparing a chai hot chocolate. And
Wait,
so
have
he's-
you eaten? Have either of you eaten? I know I ate.
I ate today.
Just ice
I
cream.
look back to Brood like, please. Please solve
And-
this.
and
Please solve this, Waffles Man.
and a sandwich, because it's not good for you to take the medication on an empty stomach.
Yeah,
You should
Advil
know
you
that,
can't.
Val.
Yeah, obviously, I definitely, it's fine.
Get esophagitis.
Just- Jinx will help you get ready. I'll be by with some food and something to drink real quick.
Okay,
Oh, just
but
be a
I'm not-
second. I'll
I'm
whip
just not
something right up.
tired. That's the problem. I've had like half a pot of coffee, and like it's fine.
Okay, well, I just want you to lie down and close your eyes for a little bit. And if you're not tired, that's fine. You won't fall asleep, but I just need you to be still and close your eyes.
All right, fine.
Val, if you're not tired, I'll stay up with you.
Okay. Well, I'll try.
Now, Jammy's on. March.
Yeah, and Val goes through all the motions of trying to get ready and eat something and have, let her friends take care of her.
Yeah.
Not that
Just may not get the world's most sleep, but like, there's nothing worse than just letting thoughts stir in your brain on your own
mm,
and spinning that out into catastrophe when you're not going to fall asleep. So Jinx will keep Valkyrie company so that she doesn't spin out alone.
this is
Because it's good to have people with you when you're doing poorly. The ones who care about you and stick around, and you get each other through the hard times. How was Wolf's evening?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that as Wolf's up and he's talking and trading these stories, and there's a moment where Brood comes in with the hot chocolate for Valkyrie and Jinx at the same time as Bordeaux comes back in with another cup of tea for a refill for everyone as they're talking, and you can just see those moments happen together.
Good editing.
And then there is kind of a breath that you feel, and I'm gonna add just a little thing that you made Valkyrie leave her comms in the living room, as a nope, you are not getting on this phone and doing more shit.
You're not scrolling
when you're
TikTok till
supposed-
3 a.m.
Exactly. But it lights up with a message as Jinx sits with Valkyrie, as Brood cleans up from making this quick sandwich that was basically full on chicken salad situation that was not made prior. He just made it really quickly right then. You're like, how did you even, it's been 3 minutes. How did this happen? Why is it so delicious?
Don't you remember why Sunshine picked me up in the first place?
That Valkyrie's phone chimes with a message that from Nia, hey, can't sleep, but I've been thinking a lot about what you said about the mechs, and I would really, really love if you could help us out here and make that a priority for you. And then after that, Brood cleaning up all of this stuff, you've had an interesting night, all things told, between crawfish ice cream and gallery owners and kind of crashing Jinx's date. Oops, what? And definitely thought you were saving them.
Okay.
Definitely thought you were saving them from an unwanted thing, and that may not have been the case at all. But so as you're changing out of this outfit that you were definitely wearing, you find a piece of paper.
My perfect disguise.
As you're changing out of your perfect disguise, you find a piece of paper in kind of your jacket pocket, and you open it up, and it is a set of coordinates and a time for tomorrow night, and it's signed Mama.
It's signed Mama?
Mm-hmm. Which, if you think back, that is the name of the person that the
matron
was it matron?
of the Reapers.
The matron of the Reapers?
Yes, sorry, my bad. Matron. So it's signed Matron.
Okay.
I'm retconning that. Mama is just better.
Mama. Yeah.
Got it.
So yes. Abilene told y'all to find Mama and talk to her to find out where the black market was going to be. And Brood apparently did at some point, maybe?
Well, the Reapers always say, "You won't find us; we'll find you."
Mm-hmm. And this was no exception.
Okay. So
So
coordinates and a time, signed Mama.
Mm-hmm. And a lipstick kiss.
Okay.
A
What color?
motif.
What color's the lipstick?
That's a classic red.
Okay.
Like, it's not that super bright, but it like veers coral.
Copy that.
Damn,
Seems
I
like
really
an
need to
important
figure out a
detail.
better place to put that iPad.
Give it long enough, the cat will find one for you.
Uh-huh.
Spoilers, it's the floor.
It's down here.
That's apparently where my hand wants to put it, since I've literally flipped it off the table twice. So yeah. And what was I saying? Yes, coral. It's kind of that like so yeah, red to pink rather than red to maroon.
This is an out of character question because Brood wouldn't have noticed. Is this the same color lipstick that Amalia was wearing?
Not that you remember, no.
Okay. Well, I'm saying Brew wouldn't have picked this up at all. That was a me question.
Would the camera have noticed?
Yeah.
The camera did not actually. Like it's it isn't. As far as you're aware, that is not the color lipstick that
Got it.
Amalia would ever wear.
Okay.
Fair enough.
And yeah, so I think that is a good point to leave it for today.
Yeah, I think so. We'll get Wolf back in the morning and well,
And then y'all can
theoretically.
get on, like, you know, we'll see in the morning what other things may have turned up, but also
I have to wait a week for that. Ah!
You know, we'll just infiltrate a black market in the morning, and then in the evening we'll go meet a mysterious sniper who's in charge of a band of other snipers.
It's also our standing date with Jinx and Wolf going on Chrysalit patrol.
And y'all aren't going on Crystalid Patrol alone, if I may remind you.
Wow. All right. So we got great stuff coming up.
It's gonna be good.
So y'all have a lot going on right now. If you would like it to, you could tell me how to fuck off. You could tell Mama to fuck off. I suppose those are viable options.
I do not delete side quests from my journal.
All right, everyone, we're just going to overthrow the local government, become warlords. Is that the plan?
Fire.
I'm sorry,
Fire
I feel
should
like
do
you.
it.
I would look really good on a throne.
Man, that jumpsuit just screams.
Mirror
royalty.
Universe Jinx would be lit.
Yeah.
But last I checked, we weren't actually playing D&D. We are playing a hack of Band of Blades. And thank you all for watching this actual play that is technically this system that I just keep twisting out of recognizable existence.
That's a strong tradition here on the channel.
Which I am very proud to uphold, along with the very story-heavy rules light actual play podcast that you can find me on 12-Sided Stories. If you would like to see pictures of my cat, not just watch me move him off the desk several times during the course of the evening, you can find me on Twitter at LADaisy Girl. That's LADESI Girl. And I'm on the other socials as Forgotten Saves. And Sam, where can the people find you?
Well, since it has been Transgender Day visibility relatively recently, you can still find the vestiges of my visage throughout the internet, the schedule for which is on my Twitch about page, twitch.tv/Delevely, DELEVELY, as well as all of my one-offs announced on Twitter at Tchaikovsky, CHAIKOVSKY. Of particular note, the after show I'm hosting for Denny Plain, the Children of Erte after show on the Erte starts this Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Please support so that I get to watch Deborah and Wall and then ask her questions about how she tortures players in a beautiful and bespoke fashion. Thank you.
Yes. And Joe?
You can find me screaming into a pillow most nights. Because I've decided to go back to school at 40. Or, try my social media. That's probably faster for you. Joe Loves Stories. You can find me talking about why I'm shouting into my pillows at night, what I'm dealing with, learning mental health and having those conversations. So if that's your jam, find me there, along with my other geeky adventures.
Okay. And Nick, tell the people where they should be scoping you out.
Well, you should be scoping me out here every Saturday until mid-May on this fantastic game that I'm honored to play with all these wonderful players. Other than that, you can hit me on @Sungrowler on Twitter. You can also hit me at @Sungrowler on Instagram, but don't do it because I'm never on there, except that now I'm kind of on there because I guess it cross-posted or something. So, but still, I won't be there, but do it if you want. If you just want to increase your followed count without getting any more stuff jammed into your timeline, I'm your guy. But beyond that, nothing immediately, but that may be changing, and I'll let you know next time.
And bring us out, Jason.
All right, I can do that. Hi,
It is
I'm
your
Jason.
channel, after all.
You can find me on Twitch or Twitter at It's Probably Okay. The Friday show that I do here is a 2-screen setup with my friend Sam, and we play some video games. We've been playing through Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is just a ridiculous send up of both D&D and first-person shooters, and just like all of the maximum mess you could make with both of those genres.
Hell yeah.
That is very, very fun. And then we're here Saturdays at 1 p.m. In case you're watching this later, live and later are still your only 2 options for watching the show. Otherwise, you need to come and let us know how we're going to do, how we will have always done. And
I need to know how I will have handled the thing.
yes,
Somebody come tell me.
Here.
Yeah, tense.
But we're past all that.
Oh, that's perfect.
You can also find me every other Sunday over on Happy Jacks RPG on the Eye of Horus campaign with Joe. It's quite fun. And occasionally, I think next week, actually, I'm going to be on Happy Jack's Friday advice show. So I'll be going right from our Friday video games to the new studio. So that should be fun too. Okay, and I think that's all I have for us. So I'm gonna play our video one more time, and we don't have anyone to go raid right now, so we'll just run off into the void, and I hope you have a nice Saturday. Take care, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.